Hi, my name is Rose Hardy. The company I have is Monate by Modern Nature, and it's an anti-aging company for products for men, women, children, and pets as well.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, I met this next guest while she was working because she's always working, you guys. She has more hats than Hey Man, in Living Color joke for those of you who can remember. But she was working, we were chopping it up. I was even looking for her, but trying to see where she was the next day at CES. And she actually was off probably to do like another job and work on her business, and that's what we're going to talk about, people. So Miss Rose, the hardest working woman in Las Vegas, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. I appreciate it being here. How are you?
Blessed by the best. First world problems only, as I told you, off air. So I'm not gonna complain because that's not what I do. I'm just gonna work through, which I'm sure you know all about with all of the things that you do. So tell the people, who are you? Give them how you began this journey of just being the ultimate hustler.
Oh man, so I am Rose Hardy, everyone, and my story began basically of getting married young, figuring out what I wanted in life, being passionate about what I wanted in life, and really just being thorough and knowing that I wanted to be happy. So I wind up getting on the entrepreneur bandwagon just because, my family, they were all basically entrepreneurs, either having a barbecue spot or, a beauty supply. And I'm from Los Angeles. So stuff like that is pretty, common, popular type of thing. And in the midst of it, my mom, she used to have a taxes business and all types of stuff, an auto mechanic shop. And me seeing her um, growing up, because I also do have an older mom. So right now, my mom is actually 70 years old. And I grew up basically with an old soul of old school music, an old soul of even how I think type of thing, because I have to remember some of my peers, parents aren't my parents' age. So I grew up a little bit different, and understanding that my mom also came from a generation to where, it was the Black Panther, women's rights really wasn't thorough how it is. They really didn't have as much freedom. And taking those experiences that she taught me and understanding that even though I'm a woman of color, still you don't take no for an answer, or just being a woman, there's always a way around something. And sooner or later, if you keep looking and finding it, you'll find it, best believe. So having that mindset of just keep going. If you want something, you basically get it yourself. Don't expect someone to hand it to you. You get up and you work for it, and you'll also appreciate it a lot more. I know that we were always told that when you work for it, you appreciate it more. So
No, that's real. That's real.
yes.
Keep going with
Yeah.
that story, just so the audience knows. And like I told Rose, I had a piece of my well break while getting ready for this interview. And so if you see me or you don't see me, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep flowing. But
There
yeah,
we
keep
go.
talking about that old soul and that wisdom.
Yes, no problem, no problem. And so yeah, over the time, growing up, seeing my mother, how she was, the mindset, how she was, I always admired not just a woman, but a man or a woman who can hold their own, who's a problem solver, who's a provider, who cares. And I always loved a man or a woman who stood by that. So, what's the next best thing besides of becoming that person? And as I got older, after when I got married, of course, the marriage didn't survive, which is not always a bad thing, you guys. Sometimes our lessons are literally just lessons in life. But I wind up getting married, and understanding that, you just the world is basically in your hands. I'm young, I'm married, no kids. Me and my ex at the time, me and my husband at the time, we, both had jobs, both had cars, so we were doing good to be young, married, in the military and everything like that. But when things don't work out, the world could just be snatched from right up under you in 2.2 seconds, regardless of if you wanted it or not. And going through that process of understanding, these are my do's, these are my don'ts, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And then in the midst of transitioning that into my regular day to day, everyday living, that definitely build up confidence. Because going through a divorce very early, if you don't have the right mindset and the proper foundation, or at least positive thumbs up people behind you to push you, it's definitely going to be difficult because, you're already young as it is. And even though I have a good head on my shoulders, there's definitely lessons and certain things that I gained and learned from the situation. So after the divorce, I moved actually to Vegas, and in the midst of it, it's just a new surroundings, new, brand new everything, and I love it. And that's what made me also get into entrepreneurship a lot more.
Okay, what has been, being a new entrepreneur, what has been like the biggest challenge, because you're in such a big city where there's money just in the corners, in the cracks, on every
Yeah.
corner. It's everywhere. If you're you could be anything and you could roll up on some money, big money. So talk
Mhm.
about like some of the biggest challenges.
Oh man, just besides of it being a city that never sleeps, I feel like that is the good part in it. But basically, it's a challenge because we all know that sex sells. At the end of the day, everything that's provocative out here, even when you think it's not provocative, in a way they make it provocative. So just being strong minded and understanding that, I don't have to, and nothing against the women, because hey, however you get it is however you get it. But just in my personal thing, I didn't want to do the regular come out here, get a job at the strip club or do this or do that, knowing that I already had the entrepreneurship mindset. Because even prior to me coming out here, I had a prior business where me and my ex-husband actually was, selling clothes, hats, merchandise, and everything. So if anything, this was my second rodeo into entrepreneurship. So being that, I came into Vegas, I really didn't want to do just the typical pretty girl, quote unquote, pretty girl stuff. So at first it was challenging because when I first came out here, everyone is like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Why don't you work at a strip club? Why don't you become a bottle girl or this or that? And it was just like, yeah, I can, but for what? Yeah, I could do that and get, probably more clients because I am in the beauty industry, the health and beauty industry. But at the same time, just for a living, the mental standpoint of it, because also with my business, I help people develop personal development, basically. And people have to realize that personal development is a huge thing in entrepreneurship, because you always have to fill your cup before you try to fill someone else's cup. You have to get your mind, body, and soul together before you feel like you can pour into somebody else. So I felt like in the longevity wise standpoint, I didn't really want to do that because that's really a different rodeo compared to just the beauty industry. And like I said, I have nothing against it because, some women could make a beautiful living and still be on a grind, still be focused, still carry their self respectively and not do too much. But that just wasn't the route that I wanted to take.
Well, you do model. So how do you,
Yes.
how do you, draw the line? So many people have a hard time doing that, and that's how they get, caught up into that industry a lot of time because the money is night and day. They're always pushing you to do something different and new.
Yeah, and that's definitely where the personal development comes in because it's not just about strategy or how much money I can make. You also have to be in a safe environment. You have to want to feel comfortable at the end of the day, just like a regular 9 to 5 person, you know, some of them just don't get just a regular job just because you offer it. They have boundaries. Some people, they're like, look, I'll do an office job, but I'll never do fast food. To me, I feel like that's where it's at least drawing the line to where, some of my modeling gigs, there's been people, of course, that has come on to you disrespectful way type of thing. And either you have to just acknowledge, well, make them acknowledge that at the end of the day, I take myself serious. So you have to take me serious. And I feel like also as women, if we don't take ourselves serious, no one is going to take you serious because in that type of industry of either singing, modeling, just in the entertainment business, period, it's like that. You're always going to have your wannabes. You're always going to have your, oh, let's just do a song. And, they never even had a beat for you. So you definitely just have to stay aware of your surroundings. Um, of course, understand yourself and knowing what you're capable of doing or what you want to do. And just, carrying yourself respectably so at least people can approach you in a respectable way. Because then if they don't, then at least you can tell the difference of someone's intentions and at least you can start from there to deciding if you want to continue or not.
Okay, I mean that's great advice because we're in a time where I just say everybody is a believer, everybody is the most moral person. Doesn't matter if they're twerking in front of their children on Instagram, on TikTok, and they'll say Jesus first. They'll have all of that. So we really know like and it's not a judgment, it's just that people aren't being honest with themselves of who they are. And people, there's always been undercover in especially in entertainment and in business politics. People pretend to be one way and you don't know who they are until you see them on the news, and it could be anybody
Mhm.
because at any time you can be canceled for something you didn't even know was cancelable. But yeah, but talk about how did you put together, your business, and your products? Did you create them? Are you white labeling them? Give people the game because people always think you have to have like this big factory sometimes to start something where, you can start off small and always build up.
Yes, definitely. And I am a firm believer of start small and build up because, we're also not fortunate to be born with the silver spoon. But I am partnered with the company, Monet. It's nothing to where you have to have a lot of inventory at home or anything. I work from Wi-Fi for the health and beauty and wellness industry, and basically, it's definitely something that I do love because I love marketing, affiliated marketing, and I love the beauty industry. So for me, it went hand in hand, like definitely. Um, and in the midst of it, because I have tried and did other businesses to where, you have to have the whole stock over here, you have to make sure this, you got to mail it out, you have to make sure the pricing of this. And I learned that of course, I don't mind doing that, but sometimes we just have to make it a little bit easier for ourselves because even the smallest win is still a win at the end of the day. And I took that in consideration, not beating myself up, but basically, this was just a foundation that came across, my path, and in the midst of it, it gave me freedom of personal development. It gave me freedom of having a mentor. It gave me freedom of just self-confidence and just elevating myself in my business and loving it at the same time.
What's a community give back? I call you a newer entrepreneur. So what's a community give back that you're doing or that you plan on doing in the future?
Definitely Monet events. Even though I'm in Vegas, I throw Monet events. Basically, those are events that you can just come, have some little cocktails, some finger foods, network if you want to, get some cute content. Also, in the midst of giving women facials, pampering them, making yourself feel good, because the first love is yourself at the end of the day. And once again, you have to pour into yourself before you pour into others. So I like to actually throw events that are feel good events. We want the mind, body, and soul to feel good, because when you feel good, you look good. When you look good, you feel good. And we definitely want to keep that going, because life happens, trials and tribulation happens. And either if you're male or female, I actually have product for men. I have a men's skincare line product for men. We like to pamper, why not get a facial? Why not, get a good face scrub and your feet scrubbed at the same time while drinking a mimosa, probably, depending on what's your favorite drink. But that is my way of giving back to the community. And the events, they've actually been very, very successful. Different people from different places, from LA, San Diego, even San Francisco, have drove out here to Vegas to come and just enjoy these events. So that is definitely my way of giving back, is a self-care, because to me, self-care is where the heart is, basically.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. And you guys, we could go on all day because I talked to Monet, or Rose. I shouldn't say Monet, but I wanted to run. I talked to her for so long at CES, but because when emergencies do happen, you have to tend to them. And whatever fix I had, I can now hear it. And, I always tell people I don't have a water bill, but I got to maintain the well. So, Monet, I
There we
thank
go.
you for giving the game. Bother you on Instagram DMs and say, hey, did you look at that influencer thing I sent you? Are you open? Do you want to, try that and, do news or entertainment and grow your platform, whichever
Yes.
platform you choose? So, I will definitely follow up with you again on that. And if it fits, it fits. But any last words you want to give to the people?
I just say be true to yourself, and keep pushing, no matter if it's persistent or being consistent. Still push through it. And I definitely appreciate you for having me on here. And I appreciate every moment that we had, even the conversation that we had at CES. It's always good combo with you, and I appreciate every moment.
Well, you guys have been blessed by the game. I know most of you are listeners, but go over to that YouTube and, kick up those numbers as much as we can, because, we can be hot on all platforms. And make sure, if you do nothing else, you share this game with someone. It will change their life.
Yes.
Be blessed.
Yes, definitely. Oh, and also my anti-aging vegan products will be on rosehardy.mymonate, mymonat.com. And there you can find all the health, wellness, and shampoo products that I have listed.
Oh, man, the game is good, you guys. Share it. Be blessed.
Hi guys, I'm Kai Gabiam from the Diaspora channel, a lover of Africa. If you love Africa as well and you would love to visit one day or to relocate to Africa, there is a course out there for you. And this course is My First Trip to Africa, a course well put together by a seasoned traveler, Kellen Cash Coleman. This course is designed to prepare you to travel better, which will save you both time and money. And the great news is this course costs only $20, guys. It can't get any better. Go right now and enroll to this course at www.diversifygame.com.